just a problem with my router. Okay. Back to the class. I saw your assignments. Thank you very much for your submissions. First things first, I want to ask, what do you consider a published article? What do you, in your mind, what is a published article?
An article in the news or magazine or something, but made for the public.
Okay. Okay, then what is a scholarly published article? To be more specific, what is a scholarly published article? Scholarly article, what would that be?
Articles stipulated for people making research, students, or anything research related.
Research related. And where would we get such kinds of articles?
Libraries, I think. Courthouses.
Sorry?
Made for study purpose. Libraries, courthouses, and places stipulated for research purposes.
Okay. So normally, yes, you get from the library, that is true. Others we get from online journals. Online journals are also another great source. The library, for example, the UMU library, and I think most university libraries have e-resources. Those are a good place. Then the other great source which gives us is Google Scholar. Kusima says blog posts. Kusima, blog posts are not research articles. They are definitely articles, but not research articles. So that is a key point we need to note. Where do we get our published research articles? So I'm just going to share a screen and just give you a hint. So if I was to look for a research article, can you all see my screen?
Yes, madam.
Okay, so if I, let's say, went to google.com and I was looking for research articles, I'll probably start with the Google Scholar. So if I just typed in Scholar, here it gives me Google Scholar. Google Scholar is one of the great sources we can use to look for published research articles. So let us say I was looking for articles on human-computer interaction designs. Because human-computer interaction is it's a theory or an approach to designing applications. So here I'm finding articles. All of these are published articles on that. Here is one, the scope and importance of human interaction in human-computer interaction design. This was published in 2002. We have another one here, and it's downloadable, where it says PDF. It says Challenges in Human-Computer Interaction Design for Mobile Devices. This was published in 2009. We move further. There's Applying User Modeling to Human-Computer Interaction, 1993. Also downloadable. This is one of 1997, 2009, and so on and so forth. 1991, 89, 98, but these are old. So this is one way. Another one could say, you can look for maybe published articles. Can another one give me another hint, another area we could look for? IT related. Hello, could anyone give me an idea? Could Brian, could you give us an idea, something you'd like us to to search for? An IT related area? Let me look in the chat room. Computing in the IT sector. Yes, please. Yes, Brian?
Maybe AI.
Artificial intelligence, yeah?
Yeah.
AI in relation to what?
In relation to like technology, ITs.
Let's say artificial intelligence, AI, and let's say in marketing, let's put it in marketing. Let's look for something in that area and see if we can see the past, present, and future of AI in marketing. Here's one in 2020, machine learning and AI in marketing, connecting computer power. That all of this, they can even say AI marketing. Should they say applications? Let's see if we can say, here is one of 2022, artificial intelligence applications for marketing, a literature-based study. So this one is looking at a literature-based study. They're looking at literature which has published on articles that have been written on AI in marketing, application of AI in modern digital environment, 2021. This is quite recent. This paper explains the various AI applications available for digital marketing managers to use in their organizations of high return. This is so if you are, let's say, looking at designing one, you can go through this article and it gives you guidance, and you say these were applications that have been made in a Western environment. I would also like to try it out. So one can download it. So let me just try and download it, and we look at something like that. So here's another one, applications of artificial intelligence in marketing. This section describes how AI can assist marketeers and which applications of AI can be used for what purpose. This is also another one. Let's see if we can download this one as well. Okay, there's quite a number of them. So these are what we call typically published articles, research published articles. These are articles that have scholarly articles. And when we talk about articles in research, this is where we expect you to start looking. Yeah. So let me see if I can open one of these and we just have a look. Let me just do a new share. Okay, can you all see this article that this is the first one we've downloaded. Can you all see it? Hello, can you see? Is this visible to you all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a typical example of a published article, an article in the field of IT. And this is quite recent. That's what we normally look for when we're looking for research articles. They call them state of the art. Yeah. New articles that have just come up. That means this is the most recent knowledge that has been introduced. The publishers of this article, we have Dr. Kiran S. Nair and Dr. Rushi Gupta. Okay. The journal they have published this in is World Journal of Entrepreneurship, Management and Sustainable Development. This is the journal in which it has been published. And Here it has an abstract. The abstract normally gives us an idea of what the research is all about. Okay. So now, first things first, I want to ask all of you, do you think all of you picked correct articles from a correct source?
I guess no.
Yeah, so that is yes, please. Yes, Alvin, you had something to say?
They are wrong.
Yeah. So someone is saying my network. Am I breaking? Am I still? Is my network stable or not?
Not.
It's not.
Stable.
It's not.
It's stable, madam.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So one is the source of your article is extremely important. So those who have not picked the right source, I do not want to fail you. So I'm going to ask you one. For me, I don't really like failing students. It's not my wish. My wish is to learn. Can we learn as we go along the way? So for those who didn't pick the right source, can we go ahead and pick the right source and redo it? That is one. Two, I just wanted to share the writing. I'm not saying his work is perfect, but I liked the way he wrote. There were some things a little bit missing, but I liked the way he phrased his wording. So I just want to share Abeine's work. Abeine Edgar. Abeine Edgar, are you in this class? Yes, you are. So I just wanted to share his writing is done, which really, for me, I really liked. He was brief, but you can also see that his wording is his own. He says the article explores the influence of rapid growth of information technology on the learning sector, particularly in educational settings. Then he goes ahead to talk about the research focus or problem. So he says the researchers were trying to investigate the proliferation, it means the penetration of IT in the different aspects of learning. Yeah. This is what he says. And then he goes ahead to give an outline of the findings. Yeah. And then the conclusion. So Abeina, I think you really wrote these were your own words. And for me, when I read it, it was clear, you understood. And even me who was reading, I understood. This is one of the key points about reading from others and then understanding and then communicating. You yourself, you're going to have an idea of what you want to do. You're going to have that idea. You want to design a system, a website, and a mobile application, whatever it is, the reasons why you want to do it, what research has been done before, you're going to have to communicate that. And these are the skills that are so important. So I've also read, I don't like to name and shame, but I've just read a few, and some were really a little bit wanting. I would request that if you can all go back, Abena, the only thing I would like from you is you didn't cite the source of your work, okay? You didn't cite the source of what is the reference? What is the reference? And then it comes to the next question, I think, which is key, is how do we reference? Okay? How do we reference? So do we have any idea about how we reference? Hello? Hello, are we there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. Okay, let me, I asked the question, do we know how do we reference? Kusime says we use the Harvard style of referencing. That's good. Now, let me also just give you another small tip if we wish to reference. So I'm going to go back to Google Scholar. So the first article we've just downloaded is this one, application of IA. Now, let us say I have downloaded this article, I want to use it, and I want to get the citation. Google Scholar makes things a little bit easier. You see here where it says cite? So you simply click on it, and it gives you the different referencing styles. So here is the Harvard style. So if I wanted to reference, I would simply copy, highlight that copy, and paste it on at my bibliography or my reference list. Do you see that? So this one gives you the proper styling of Harvard. The first name, an initial for the second name, the surname, the initial for the first name. Same thing with the second author, the year of publication, the title of the article, the journal in which it was published, and the pages of the article. So Google Scholar really helps a lot on that. Okay. So can I ask you all? What I will do is, if I don't know if it's agreeable with you, I extend that particular assignment. Those who may not have done it well, go back and redo it and resubmit, so that we don't have failures in our class. Is that okay?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, then let us have our first lecture then. Just me organize the lecture slides. Let me just pull them out. Okay. Can you all see the screen? Hello, is the screen visible to you all?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Okay, so I think introductions have already been made. You know who I am. Some of the significant things that we want to learn about. First things first, in the assignment I gave you, I asked what was the research area about, or what was the research problem. One of the most significant things in research is identification of the research problem. Not the keyword, research problem. Okay? This is going to be very, very significant for us. And the earlier we begin to grasp this, the easier it becomes for us, not just for this course unit, but when we're doing our dissertations. This is an extremely, extremely important part of our course. Identification of the research problem. Now, we know what a problem is, okay? I may quarrel with my sister. That is a problem. I may not understand God. That is a problem. I may be sick. That is a problem. But, or there may be an organization that is making losses. That is a problem. But is that a research problem? Okay? Is that a research problem? Now, I'm going to first leave it at that. I don't want to spoon feed. I'm going to ask each one of you, go and start finding out what is a research problem. Okay? Start with that question. What is a research problem? The next thing that is going to be significant is the issue of aims or objectives. Once you identify a research problem, then you must have set objectives in order to solve the research problem. So the other thing I would like you to do is start reading on research objectives. What are they? Start reading on those things. What is a research problem? What is a research objective or research objectives? How should they be phrased? What are the key principal guidelines for formulation of research objectives? Now, take note, it is you, okay? It is you, the individual, who is going to identify the research problem. For example, Brian may go as a researcher, as a person doing his BSc IT project. He's going to start reading articles. He's going to identify a research problem. He's going to articulate it. By articulate, he's going to write down, communicate to a reader and say, this is the research problem. Such and such number of writers have done, publishers have written about this, this, and this, but this has not been explored. It's a significant thing in research. It has not been explored. Therefore, I'm going to design a system, implement, then evaluate this particular research problem. Okay? Maybe, like we talked about AI, the AI article points out a number of applications for AI applications for marketeers. Then Brian will say, okay, I'm going to develop one of these applications because the articles say all of these support marketing managers. So I'm going to design one and implement it in a Ugandan context and see if it will help a marketing manager. Maybe you pick a case study of
Madam,
yes, please.
I have a question.
Yes,
so like
yes.
this research problem,
Mhm.
how do you start to write about what problem, like I don't know how to explain, but like how do I start writing my research problem, my research objectives? Like do I start playing? How do I start writing it?
You start by reading. Everything starts by reading. Everything. The first thing I introduced you to was research articles. And that's the significant part about research. You start by reading published research work. Now, I gave the example. I asked Brian, give me a possible area, and he said AI. Then I said, okay. Then I narrowed it down further, AI and marketing. Then I narrowed it down further to say AI marketing applications. And we found articles on that. So Brian would start by reading these articles, okay? So you'd start by reading these articles, and these articles are proposing, I'm going to assume, we haven't read through, but I'm sure they are proposing that these AI applications support the marketing manager's job description or his or her job requirements, maybe looking for new markets or things like that, or pinpointing the market needs and so on and so forth. Now, Brian can say, okay, these articles were published in Europe, and these applications were implemented in Europe. I'm going to design one of them and apply it in the Ugandan context. And then my job is to find out, is it true, the research problem is it true that these particular applications can actually support marketing? Give me a minute, hold on. Hello, just give me 1 minute. Just give me 1 minute, please. I'll be back. Please give me a minute. And in this time, please just start looking up what is a research problem and what is a research objective. So that when we come back, you give me your feedback. Give me just 1 minute, please. Hello, students. So apologies for that. I had an abrupt visitor, and it's a bit of a crisis here. I don't know if any of you has been listening to news about the tea sector. We are kind of in a serious crisis. So when people come, you try and quickly respond. So apologies for that. Now I'm seeing most people have gone off. Have we researched on what a research method is? Have we looked at it? Hello? Hello, are you there?
Yes.
Yes. Have you looked at what a research method is?
A research method is a strategy, process, or technique utilized in the collection of data or evidence for analysis.
Sorry, you said it is?
A strategy, process, or technique utilized in the collection of data or
Is that a
evidence for
research
analysis.
problem or a research method?
Research method.
A research method is different. So what is a research problem?
A research problem is a statement about an area of concern.
A condition to be
Is a-
improved. I'm also seeing the same definitions here. Another one says it is a specific issue or gap in existing knowledge. So it can be as a specific issue or gap in existing knowledge. Then you can go ahead and look at other things, research objectives, research methods, data collection tools, and so on and so forth. So essentially, for undergraduate, we really try to break this down so that you can see the format already, how your dissertation is going to be written, what are the first and most important things that you need to focus on. But please go ahead and do some research on these ones. And then I expect at least to see an improvement with when you redo this first assignment. Okay? And we shall definitely have an assignment where we identify research problems. And then we shall also have assignments where we formulate our own research problems. So the first things first we want to look at today. By the way, what time does our lecture end? I don't want to step into someone else's time. What time does our lecture end?
10:30.
10:30. Hello?
Yes, madam.
You said it ends at 10:30.
Yes.
So am I in somebody else's time right now, or are we free to continue? Hello, Christine?
For now, we can go.
We can continue. Okay, let's give it some 30 minutes, and then just give you time to go back through those articles that we talked about earlier. So first of all, what is research? What is research itself? Most important thing, we must understand that it is a process. So it is not something that it's not like it's not a one-day thing. It takes time. So it's really something that you need to give focus and time, because it's a process. Number two, it is systematic, meaning there are very specific steps that we must take. We should have identified a research problem. Many times you find a student saying, oh, I don't have a topic. Give me a topic. It's not about a topic, it's about a research problem. Have I discovered something, a gap that where knowledge needs to be closed? Is there a knowledge gap in the research community? Is there a knowledge gap? What is that knowledge gap? Can I fill this gap at undergraduate level? What gap can I fill at undergraduate level? Something as simple as that. So it is a systematic inquiry. So the other thing is it is an inquiry. Inquiry, what do we mean when we say it's an inquiry? What does it bring to mind when we say something, this is an inquiry?
It means asking for information.
Asking, meaning if I'm asking, it means I don't know, I'm seeking to know. Me who is making the inquiry. So which means you, the student, you're also, there's a gap you've identified, you don't know the answer, and you're going out to seek. So when you're seeking, you go with an open mind and an open heart. Not so. Open mind and an open heart. We don't know. We are going to find out. We are making an inquiry. Sometimes there's the unfortunate part where a student researcher wants to already knows the answer. So if you already know the answer, then it can't be an inquiry. Okay? It can't be an inquiry. It must be something we are seeking to find out. Take an example. If I write a dissertation at bachelor's level and I say, I'm going to design a system because manual systems are bad and automated systems are good. That is not an inquiry. It's not an inquiry. But if you are saying, it is reported in articles such and such and such that automated systems bring about efficiency. However, maybe in small scale businesses in Uganda, this has not been tested. For example, so the small scale businesses, you can say, for example, small scale businesses which are doing maybe hardware shops or small pharmacies and things like that. This has not been tested and approved. You have many businesses shunning or accepting. So the objective of this research is to design and implement an automated system, maybe for a pharmacy, and evaluate if this system actually brings about efficiency in maybe one business process, maybe in bookkeeping or balancing or whatever. That is an inquiry, because some people have insinuated or not insinuated, but they have proposed in articles that these systems bring about efficiency. I'm going to design and implement, then evaluate. Okay? So that becomes an inquiry, an actual inquiry or investigation. Am I making sense?
Yes.
I hope so. So it becomes an investigation to a specific problem. So in the example that I've given, the specific problem would be that there are proposals, but we really haven't tested them out in in SMEs. You know what SMEs are? I hope I'm speaking to a group that knows what SMEs are. I'm just giving an example. Do we know what SMEs are?
Not really.
SMEs. Can someone quickly Google SMEs? SME. Just quickly Google it. And when you Google it, even the first one it gives you has an S at the end, SMEs. Have you Googled it? Any results?
Madam, is it small and medium-sized enterprises?
Exactly. SMEs are small and medium enterprises. And you can even see from Google, it says that these play a major role in most economies, particularly in developing countries. SMEs account for majority of businesses worldwide and are important contributors to job creation and global economic development. So, if someone saw an article about management information systems, automated systems being supportive to any business, then you say, but maybe you can do research. Has there been any research on MIS in SMEs and in Uganda? Then you say, me, I want to pick up one small SME, maybe a pharmacy, maybe a hardware store. I design a system, implement, and then find out, does it actually support, does it bring about efficiency as it is reported? Something like that. So do we kind of get an idea of what we're talking about?
Yes.
So the end result, you, the researcher, would bring about information saying whether it does improve, if does bring about efficiency or not. You may find, maybe your results may point out that yes, it does improve, but maybe this SME where it is located, there's an issue of power. Or the workers within are not computer literate. And then you bring, this become the new improved knowledge. You're bringing out that as much as these automated systems bring about efficiencies, but in the context of a developing country like Uganda, there are these mitigating effects. There are these things that affect the proper running of these automated systems. That would be the new and improved knowledge that you bring. Yeah, objectively. Do you understand that point so far? I'm trying to bring this definition into reality. I don't know if I'm bringing reality. Please stop me and ask in case you don't understand. If in case you don't understand what I'm saying. Let ask as much as you possibly can. Let's try and leave the classroom when we've picked something. Yes, Francis, any question?
I don't have any question about
Okay.
the current topic, but I was left behind when you were explaining about referencing.
About
our network issue. About how we should reference.
how we should reference. Okay. Yes. How many people would like us to go back to referencing at this point?
Me. I also want.
You also want, eh? Okay, briefly, let's go back. Eh? Let me just do a new share. Okay. So, Francis, we had an example where Brian gave us a possible area of research. We said it was IA marketing applications, and we downloaded this particular article. Okay. So now you've downloaded the article and you want to use it. How do we cite? How do we reference? We know that UMU uses Harvard. Now Google Scholar, the Harvard system, I'm sure even in your handout books, these instructions should be written there. If not, the library should have a clear guide on how this can be done. But however, there are many things that help us. If I wanted to cite this article, I've downloaded it, I've used it, I want to, there's citing, first of all, there's citing within text, then there's the reference that you write at the end. So if I would like to have the reference at the end, I simply click on cite. You see here where I'm moving the mouse, where it says cite with the two quotes with the quotation marks. Do you see it?
Yes.
You click on that, and Google brings out for you different formats of citing. So we know UMU uses Harvard, so you can simply select and copy. Okay? Select and copy and then paste it to your Word document where you you are writing. But remember, this comes at the end of the writing, not within. There's the citing within text, then there's the citing at the end. I hope we know how to do that. I know some of you know how to do that because I saw one person's article had something like that, something similar, but although not very well done. But do we know how to do that?
Yes, madam, we know.
Okay. Then said Kusima says, do we have to put at every end of, sorry, at every end at every article? Kusima, could you just could you first maybe rephrase that question for me? Do you have to put at every end of the article? Now, Kusima, let me just give an example of where citation comes in. I'm just going to do a new share. Let me open up a Word document. And then share my screen. So you can all see my Word document, not so? Can you all see this empty Word document?
Yes.
Assuming, yes, okay. So let us say I have an introduction. In the introduction, I begin to write. Let me just write whatever. And then I have a background. And then I also write. Now, as I write, I make, okay, let's say I write about AI. Let me just write something a little bit more intelligent. AI is a strong tool for support in competitive marketing and can be used by the marketing manager for gaining competitive advantage. Now, these words I'm writing, yes, I believe them, but they are not necessarily my words. There's probably somebody who has said it. So take an example. Within my text, I've written this statement, but this can be supported, let's say, by the article that I've just downloaded of Gupta, of Nair and Gupta. So within my text, I will say Nair and Gupta, 2021. So that is within my text. Then I go ahead and write more and reference other people. Okay. So I'll have my research problem, my research objectives, my significance of the study, so on and so forth. Then at the end, maybe at the end of my chapter 1, I'll have chapter 2, chapter 3, I'm going to have my list of references. Okay. I'm going to have my list of references. On my list of references, this is where I will get all the articles that I have picked, that I've referenced or have used, and cite them. So Nair will be here at the end. Do you all see? I'll also list others. So within the text, I'll have where I have cited Nair and Gupta here. And then at the end, I have my list of references. So this is where Google Scholar comes in and helps me get the correct format, and I paste it without writing word by word. I don't know if I make sense.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let me see if I have somebody's research here. I can just maybe give you an example. Let me see if I can pull out one of my students' research. Let me see if I can use this one. Let's see, give me a minute. Okay. Okay, I have here with me, this is a master's student. You see he's quoting within the text. Yeah. Here he has this reference and that's another reference. Then at the end, so he starts with, this student starts with the introduction, the background, statement of the problem or research problem. Then you come to the objectives, so on and so forth. Then at the very end, when he finishes his research, he has his list of references. Yeah, here are the list of references that he has. So do we understand now what we're talking about? Sima says you're still confused. What is confusing you? Can you explain to me what exactly is confusing you?
Madam.
Mm.
So first up, please.
Sorry?
Hello.
Yes, I can hear
First
you.
go up. There's something I saw. There's something I'm trying to. I'm first go up. I really want to understand this.
Okay.
Do you see those dates? Those dates, eh? Sorry, I'm
These
sorry
dates.
for the noise. Do you see those dates? So I am confused. How are we supposed to put the dates? I don't get it. Are we supposed to put it at every end?
You
I
mean
don't get it.
like this one, the 2020?
Yes, the 2020, every end of the paragraph or something like that.
Okay. Now you are writing, you yourself. Now let's give an example of this student. He's
Yes.
talking about, here he has a topic saying the current state of enterprise architecture implementation in Uganda. So he first starts talking about the adoption of this in Uganda, blah, blah, blah. Then he refers to the Ministry of Information. Uganda has played a critical role. The ministry has actively worked in developing enterprise architecture framework for the public sector. So here he's saying what the Ministry the Ministry of ICT has done. But these words are his, but he got this information from somewhere. So where did he get it from? He got this from an article published by Muganga and Lubega. Okay? This was an article from which he got it from.
So wait, madam, every time, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but every
it's okay.
every time we get a phrase from a website or something like that, we have to phrase it at the end, like references at the end.
If not a phrase, now let's be clear. You can't get a phrase from somewhere and paste it, because that is called plagiarism. You can get information from somewhere and report it in your own words. Report it in your own words,
Yes.
but then reference.
Yes.
Yeah, reference and say
Yes.
so and so. So when you get it, it's a phrase from an article. Please desist from getting from a website. Get from a published article, research article.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
not a website.
So wait.
Yes,
I'm
please
still
continue.
confused. I need small clarification. So with this thing of Mugaga and Lubega 2020, yeah. So when are we supposed to put it there? That's what I'm confused about. When are we supposed to put it there? Is it a must always put it there, or when are we supposed to put it there?
You mean the reference itself? When do we put it?
Yes. When are we supposed to?
Now, as long as you're writing something and you got the information from somewhere else, it's not your information. Okay?
Okay, understand.
That's when you
madam.
write the reference, where you got the information from.
Yeah.
So take an example for Brian. Brian, if
Yes.
his interest is AI, and then he's trying to argue in his research that
Yes.
he's trying to say that it is being proposed that AI is going to help marketing managers improve their competitive advantage. The other people who have said it may not have said it exactly as he said, but he will reference and say, maybe Nair and Gupta said it, and so 2021 said they by putting that by putting if this was his work and he has put Nair and Gupta, by putting that there, he's saying this is not just my idea, but this has been said by others. Then he puts Nair and Gupta and somebody else. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I have another question. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Then we go to Francis.
When you're writing, yes.
No, so go ahead. Then we shall go to Francis next.
So when we are writing this problem researches and everything, so do we write it? Do we also write it like how we are writing a proposal or a dissertation?
We start with a proposal, then the proposal becomes a dissertation.
Yes.
Yeah. So the referencing starts everything, the research problem, it's in the proposal where you identify your research problem. Basically, the proposal is you saying, I have discovered this problem, and this is my objective. This is how I'm going to solve it. And this is the research method that I would use, to solve the problem. So that's the proposal. Then when it becomes a dissertation, now they've said, okay, go ahead. Now I'll give you an example again of Brian's case. If Brian's case is research gap is saying that it's being proposed that AI can support marketing managers. But then you said there's been no research which has been done in the Ugandan context. So Brian will say, my research problem is that I want to test out the proposals being made by these writers like Nair, Gupta, and others, that this can improve marketing. So I'm going to I want to find out if this AI can work within a Ugandan context, and maybe a market-driven organization. So then Brian will say, for me to test this out, I am going to design an AI application like one of the ones they've stated. I implement it, let's say for what, like maybe for Jumia or something. He picks a market-oriented organization like Jumia. I implement it, and then I see if it will actually support the marketing team. So his objective, so his research problem is that this has not been tested. It is being proposed, but it has never. There's no literature that tests it in Uganda. So that is the research problem. Okay.
The research problem we're writing. Sorry, I'm sorry. The research problem we're writing, does it also need a reference?
Okay. Yeah, you have to reference what has been done, because you indicate this is the research that has been done. You said Nair and Gupta did this research, maybe Tom and Peter did this research, maybe Mary and Jen did this research, but no literature has been written on Uganda and AI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no literature anywhere. Then you say, then you say, now this is what I'm proposing. Now all of that, the referencing you've done is backing up your argument.
Okay.
You get Sima, it's backing up your argument that this research has not been done in Uganda. So basically, then
Yes.
now Brian now has the right now to say, now my research objective is I'm going to design this AI application. I'm going to apply it in a case study, maybe Jumia. Then I test, I evaluate and see if it actually does support the marketing process.
Yes, madam.
Yeah. Then that would be his proposal. And then he says, this will be my research method. I'm going to use design science. I'm going to use case study. That's my research method. Yeah. Then
Yes, madam.
then his proposal is approved. Then when it is approved, what does Brian, the proposal has 3 chapters. It has chapter 1, chapter 2. Chapter 2 is the literature review. This is where he would be bringing out all the research that has been done about AI, where it has been tested, where the results. Then you say,
Okay.
now you're basically beefing up your chapter, your proposal. Then your chapter 3 is your outlining your methodology. I'm going to use design science. I'm going to use case study. In design science, I'm going to start with literature, maybe the article, the application that has been developed. I get my requirements from there. I develop the system. Then application, I use case study. Then I implement it. I observe. I interview, things like that. Then that is your chapter 3. Now, for it to become a proposal, I mean to become now a dissertation, you actually implement.
So wait, if I'm writing a proposal, what's the difference between the proposal and the dissertation?
Now this is where the difference comes in. The proposal, you have outlined your chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, where you've stated what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Okay?
Okay.
You've stated it. And your language at that time is the research will. The research will, that's a language. Now, once the proposal is approved, now Brian goes ahead and develops the system, the application.
A dissertation.
Implements it. Implements it. Now, when he implements, he collects the data and he collects the data to determine, does it actually improve or not? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he implements it, let's say in Jumia, then he starts interviewing the marketing department. Has this application helped you? Have you seen increased revenues? Have you seen increased customers? Have you been able to narrow down on your customers better because of this? You know, all those questions. Then when he brings it out, he brings out either yes, maybe it brought increased revenues, or revenues did not, or maybe customers increased, they could better narrow down, things like that. Then he'll say yes or no at the end. Now, at this point, this is when the language changes. Now, the results of the implementation becomes his chapter 4. Okay, where he shows now he shows images of the application he developed. Then when he implemented it, these were the results. This is how the respondents said that yes, it improved or no, it did not. Then he concludes by saying, in the Ugandan context, whether it does bring about improvement or not. And now at that point,
So
the language changes. It's no longer the research will. So the research did.
Yes. So basically, the dissertation has 2 chapters.
The dissertation has it has 4 chapters. Chapter 1. Chapter 1, this is where you outline your research problem, your research objectives.
Yes, that's a proposal. That's a proposal.
The proposal has 3 chapters. Okay? There's chapter 1.
So they're different.
Yeah, there's chapter 1, which outlines research problem, research objectives, significance of the study, so on. Chapter 2, which is literature review. This is where you outline everything that has been written about your research. So here, Brian would be talking about AI, what is it? Then he talks about AI in marketing, the research that has been done in other countries, but not in Uganda, and then so on and so forth. Then chapter 3, he'll be talking about his research method. I'm going to use design science, I'm going to use case study, I'm going to use questionnaires, I'm going to use interviews. That would be chapter. Now, those 3 chapters are your proposal. Those 3 chapters are your proposal. And at that time, the language is the research will. The research will. Yes. Then when it is approved, then Brian goes ahead and implements the system. He designs it, implements it, then collects data. Then at that point, he's now answering the question, has this AI application actually improved the marketing department's performance?
Yes.
Then at that point, then his language changes. The research did this, like
Okay,
that.
thank you,
So
madam.
you're welcome. So next, I think Francis was the next person with a question. Is Francis still there with us? Francis is not with us. Okay.
Excuse me, madam.
Yes, please.
I didn't understand on this. When we're explaining when someone's tackling something new that has not been worked on, how do you reference and all that? Because now that time you have no sources that refer to that part that you're exactly working on because it is fresh and new. So how do you reference? How do you produce your references?
Okay. Now this is. Let me see if I can see something, an example here. Although this is a master's, but let's see if we can use his as an example. It kind of just gives you an idea, but let me see. Oh, let me see if I can pick a research article, which may be better. Trying to find this article, can't see. Let me see. Let me see. First, hold on a minute. I think there is. Trying to find something easier. I wouldn't want to pull out for you things for PhDs and so on and so forth. Now, what we can do, I think, let's do this. Let's have the first session next week. After we've found out what a research problem is, what a research objective is. I want to bring out for you a very good article, at least a good dissertation, which highlights clearly how a person narrows down on a research problem. Okay? I show it to you as an example. I don't want to bring for you something that is at PhD level, master's level. I want to give something at undergraduate level that you can relate to. That's something that will not, scare you out of what you're trying to do. Can we do that? And then for you on your part, next week when we come, you give me a report back on what you have discovered, what is a research problem in your own understanding, what is a research objective in your own understanding. Is that okay?
Madam. Yes, madam.
Okay, so I don't want to pull out for master's work. It may confuse you even further, and it may scare you from research. And research is one of the best things that we have.
Yes.
So I'm going to request you, for those who are a little bit misfired, kindly go back on that assignment. I'm going to extend the time, redo it. I wouldn't want to fail anyone at this point. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Sorry for the
Thank you, too.
delays and interruptions.